This is video number 6, remembrance-kjv.com. When I discovered the existence of the mental arithmetic memory, I knew that it was in use for some time in the so-called prehistory. So I set to try and discover the materials and gadgets that were used then to promote such a way of thinking. I discovered 2, playing cards and the Sudoku. Let us begin with the Sudoku. Sudoku is played on a grid like this one. The grid has 9 big boxes, and each of the 9 boxes has 9 small boxes. First, there are digits that are already placed in it. The player should fill in the digits in the remaining boxes, such that each of the big boxes contains all digits 1 through 9. Each row should also contain all digits 1 through 9. Likewise, each column should also contain digits 1 through 9. Let's play. We begin with the first row. Let's place 9 here. We cannot place it elsewhere. Why? The columns containing asterisks do also contain 9. We follow by placing 1, for the same reason that the columns containing the asterisks do also contain 1. Next, we place 5, for the self-same reason as before. Next is 7. The reason being that the big box that contains the asterisks also contains 7. Last is 2, because that's the remaining digit in the first row. The first row is now complete. Now we complete the first big box. We place 5, because this other column contains 5. Lastly, 4, since it is the remaining digit for the digits from 1 through 9. Let us choose the second column. We place 8, since the row that contains the asterisks also contains 8. Lastly, 6, since it is the remaining digit along this column. Following the same rules, we complete this row, this column, this row, the second row, the second big box of the first column, and so on until the whole grid is complete. We are done, and we have these numbers. Let us now take a look at the significance of these numbers. Let's take a piece of cardboard box with a slot and train our mental arithmetic memory. It's 1, 17, 179, 1792, 17923, 179234, 1792 346, 1792 3468, 1792 34685, 1792 34685. Let's check. 1792 34685. That's correct. We can do the same thing column-wise. It's 3, 35, 356, 3561, 35619, 356198, 3561,987, 3561,9874, 3561,98,742, 3561,98,742. Let's check. 3561,98,742. Sudoku can also be used box-wise along the rows or box-wise along the columns. The whole grid can be used 36 times. After that, a person can play another game and start again. As people will continue practicing, many will realize with experience that if a game is not restarted, the brain is so powerful as to recall the order of digits in previous experiences. Restarting allows the brain to practice rather than to memorize previous records. So, it is essential to restart the game. Apart from using Sudoku playing, one can also use the Sudoku cube, a combination of the Sudoku game and a Rubik's cube. It can also be referred to as a numbered Rubik's cube. With the Sudoku cube, the advantage is that the rotating cube will hide the already done numbers, and one needs no other additional material to cover the numbers. Let us move on to playing cards. Playing cards are basically made up of 4 decks of cards. Each deck has 13 cards. Let us try and do something with these cards to suit the calculations in base 10. Let us remove cards J, K, 10 and Joker. Q will take the value of 0 and A will take the value of 1. So, we have 4 decks with each deck having numbers running from 0 through 9. Spades, hearts, clubs, diamonds. Place them together and shuffle them to give them a random setup. This can be done by casting them randomly onto the table like this. At the end, gather the cards onto a pile and place them upside down. Take cards one by one and read the digits and turn the card upside down. Read the cards till your desired number of digits is achieved. Let us try this one. It's 4, 49, 490, 4908, 49082, 49085, 4908253, 49082531. So that's 49082531. Let's check. 49082531. If, say, one is practicing with 12-digit numbers, he or she is able to practice 4 times to finish the 36 playing cards. Cards should be reshuffled to start again. In 15 or so days of practicing, a person can develop a beefy memory to such an extent that if cards are not reshuffled, the brain can remember all the 4 12-digit numbers. It is therefore necessary to reshuffle cards each time after completing the 36 cards. When I experimented with 4 teenagers in 2019, some of them were able to retain memory of 20-digit numbers, while all of them could retain memory of 16-digit numbers. I used the Sudoku-like series of numbers, since at that time it was prior to the discovery of the use of playing cards to practice the same method of accruing digits into memory. If we assume that playing cards were invented for the purpose of training the human mental arithmetic memory, we can try and predict the number base for which they were designed. From all cards, if the joker is removed, then we are left with 4 decks of 13 cards. If we arrange them in this order, we have Q, A, 2, 3, 4 up to 9, then J, K, and 1, 0. If we try represent numerals using the English alphabet, we have 0, then A through K. 1, 0 will thus represent the base. It is possible that Q evolved from a stylish attempt to represent 0. Today, we have these 3 variations of representing 0. This one, and this other one. It is therefore not surprising to believe that Q evolved from an attempt to represent 0. A of the cards is married to A of the alphabet. Likewise, J and K will marry the J and K of the alphabet. So Q represents 0, A represents 1, J represents 10, K represents 11, 1, 0 represents an equivalent of the decimal 12. Note that 1, 0 can be used to represent any base. I do not accept that this match is mere coincidence. It is a possible hypothesis that base 12 served at some point in the history of human race as an international medium of exchange, in more or less the same way we use base 10 today. Again, if a person takes a look at the Sudoku cube, it has 4 sides, with each side having a row of 3 pieces. To go right round a row of the pieces gives 12 faces. To do it without repeating digits, one needs base 12 numerals. It is therefore most likely that both the Rubik's Cube and playing cards were invented to train the human mental arithmetic memory in a world dominated by base 12 numbering system. Please subscribe to this channel and join a people reformed by wisdom. Truth without an end. Meet you in video number 7, where we will commence on the basics of number operations. Thank you.